Hi everyone, my name is Keith Johnson. Welcome to another Minnesota Banking Minute. I'm the Associate Counsel here at the Minnesota Bankers Association, and today we are speaking with Amy Radee. She is the Director of Risk Management with UFS LLC. And our topic that we're going to talk about today is some FFIEC guidance on incident response reporting and a tool that Amy's company offers to banks to use. So Amy, thanks very much for joining us. And the first question that we'd like to ask you is, why is an incident response plan important for banks?
Thanks, Keith. Great question. The incident response has been required as a part of the FFIEC guidance for many years now. It's becoming very, very popular as the events are happening out in the cybersecurity world. The purpose of incident response is really to minimize that impact and damage to our institutions and to our customers. And a documented incident response plan will really help ensure that incident response success.
So what should be included in an incident response plan?
The FFIEC guidance does a great job of breaking down to the different areas that you need to cover in your incident response plan. And I'll just run through them at a really high level. Again, please refer back to that FFIEC guidance for details, but we need to identify what type of event we're dealing with. We need to document how we plan to contain those different types of events. We need to really draw out who can communicate, to whom they can communicate, and what needs to be communicated and when. We need to be able to restore our systems and our data back to a good state so that we can continue to service our customers. We need to make sure we've got documented processes to preserve our data for any forensic investigation that could be needed. And then we need to make sure we've got a documented test plan so that we can test our incident response plan and make sure that document covers everything it needs to ensure our success.
Interesting. Okay. And there's a term that we hear, a tabletop test, and we were just wondering what a tabletop test means for incident responses.
Yeah, so a tabletop test is one of those instances where we can test something that we don't get to do on a daily basis. We all have policies and procedures that we run through daily, and so we're constantly testing those to ensure accuracy and that they're updated. But incident response, BCP, DR, those are all things that we're planning for events that could happen in the future and hopefully never happen. So a tabletop test is really making sure we can run through those scenarios that we have documented out and make sure our plan takes care of everything we need it to. So we're going to identify a real world scenario. We are going to document out a test script. What are the hackers going to do? What's their success going to look like in our environment? And then we get all of the players into a room, we get our incident response plan document, and we just run through that against our script. We identify our lessons learned and our gap areas, and we update our plan to be better for the next time around. Doing this annually ensures that we're encapsulating those changes to staff, to security, to technology, products offered to customers, changing customer base. So if we can do that in an annual basis, we can really make sure we're getting all those changes into the policy and that our policy is as up to date as it can be.
Oh, great. Sounds great. Sounds like an excellent service. And the last question we have is, who needs to be contacted if a bank has an incident?
So really what we need to do to determine who needs to be contacted is we need to go back to that first step in the FFIEC guidance, and that's identify. What's the impact of the event? What data was breached? What type of compromise took place? And that will help us determine who needs to be contacted. Do we need to contact our cyber insurance right away? They can, then guide us to the right forensic investigators. We probably need to contact our primary regulator. Do we need to bring in the FBI based on, was there monetary loss involved? And then also we want to make sure we're contacting our information sharing organizations. FFIEC is a big one. The banking associations we're all a part of, so that using our strength in numbers, we can really help each other prepare for those things that are happening out in the real world and ensure that people can get their security up to date and are not being hit by the same types of attacks.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, it sounds like a great service, and it sounds like something that would be really valuable for banks, so we hope that they consider it. And well, thank you very much, Amy, for joining us on another Minnesota Banking Minute, and thank you everybody for watching.